morning. My name is Robert Weller. Welcome to a different Anzac Day commemoration service. We all knew this Anzac Day was going to be different. We're grateful to PLuto Entertainment for providing the facilities to live stream this ceremony from Taree, New South Wales, Australia, and to you for joining in. Earlier this morning, my wife and I, together with thousands of others, not only in Australia but many places throughout the world, took part in the Light Up the Dawn service. It was a special and moving time. This morning we'll also be hearing from Peter Ball, Leanne Ralston, John Pera, Jim Bird, Terry Fardouli and Michael Clare. We hope this event gives you the opportunity to share an Anzac service, though different in format, we believe staying true to the spirit and respect of Anzac. I'd like to share what Anzac Day was like to a young primary school student from Nabiac, a small New South Wales country town. Anzac Day meant I, together with my three elder brothers, marching 200 or so metres from school to the local cenotaph, standing in the sun with the occasional school friend collapsing from the heat. During the Anzac service, our mother sat at a piano which was perched precariously on the tray of a local gravel contractor's truck. It was there we sang Lead Kindly Light, Abide With Me, and God Save the Queen. While the service was being conducted, we sometimes ate a lily-pilly fruit if we were lucky enough to be standing under one of the trees and weren't spotted by a teacher. This was where I began to learn about and understand the significance of Anzac. I'm sure all of you have your own memories of Anzac Day. Let your heart take a photo and store it for future reference. Each year on April 25th, in the moments prior to dawn, that deep and rumbling sound you hear is Anzac being reborn. It rises up within us all and brings a flood of tears for battles fought, for victories won, for bravery and fears. From battlefields in foreign lands, they wrote of loneliness and grief, of bravery and heroism, courage beyond belief. Not all of them return from war and rest in graves afar. Their memories live forevermore. How grateful we all are. Those gallant soldiers fought and died to keep our country free. We gather here with pride each year to preserve their memory. On Anzac Day each year we pause, give thanks, reflect, and yes, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Please welcome Peter Ball and Leanne Ralston.
Remember the times when we were kids playing war games in your yard. Everybody had to be a hero, get one in the heart. Night would fall and we'd call a truce and all go home. Years went by, we were average guys playing life by rule of thumb, till a man came on the TV talking about war like he wanted one. He said, everybody line up, backs to the wall till your numbers call. You gotta go and be a hero. You gotta go and be a hero. They made a law that you had to go and fight one more crazy war, compulsory hero. Just try and make it home. So all that had to be heroes went off to do their chores. None of them really would have known how far a bloody war goes. They're dying to make it home. When I think back on all those times playing war games in your yard, everybody had to be a hero. Back then that wasn't hard. The night would fall on the battle zone and we could all go home. You gotta go and be a hero. Got a new game for all you boys. It's a war without a choice. Compulsory hero. Just try and make it home. Just try and make it home. Oh, but who's gonna make it home?
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself.
Tell me something more. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. In all the bad times I fear myself. I'm of the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never leave the ground. Scratch through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow. In the shallow, shallow, la la low. In the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Oh, oh, the shallow, shallow, la la low. In the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, shallow, la la low. In the shallow, we're far from the shallow now.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you that I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. We could live for 1,000 years, but if I hurt you, I make wine from your tears. I told you every we could fly, 'cause honey, we all have wings, but some of us don't know why. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never, ever tear us apart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart.
Don't ask me,
You were standing,
you know it's true.
I was there.
Worlds
Two
collide,
worlds collided,
they're shining through.
and they could never tear us apart.
Don't ask me,
I was standing,
you know it's true.
you were there.
Worlds
Two
collide,
worlds collided,
they're shining through.
and they could never, ever tear us apart.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I want to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we're currently standing on, the Biripi people. And I just would like to remember the Indigenous soldiers that fought for us and went to World War I, World War II and other wars. So I know there is a war memorial behind the aged care centre, the Biripi Aged Care Centre near the roundabout out at Purfleet. So I just thought it was apt and right to start with that. Anzac Day is a holy day. It's a holy day. It's a sacred day for Australians. And what's that mean? The word holy simply means we set it aside. We set it aside to remember. We make it special. And Australians are very much revere Anzac Day. We have a Judeo-Christian heritage in this country. Our history is built on that foundation. Whether you believe in God or not, that is undeniable. Terry is going to speak after me, and his grandfather was a soldier for the British Army. And his grandmother shared a story, his great-grandfather, I should correct that. His grandmother told a story 2 years ago on Anzac Day in our church service about this man who didn't believe in God, but God still believed in him and saved him. And every British soldier, and I believe it would have been the case for Australian soldiers in the past, were given a Bible. And they didn't have to take it if they didn't want to, but this gentleman, Terry's great-grandfather, had the Bible in his pocket and got shot, and the bullet hit the Bible and saved his life. And Sheila Cedarblad brought that Bible in, and we passed that around and looked at it, and we were reminded that that God cares for us. Jesus Christ died on Good Friday. It was only a few weeks ago that we were remembering Good Friday. A local pastor encouraged local Christians to grab a cross and walk to the Fotheringham Park, not to gather, but just to walk and maybe in the distance see each other, just as a way of witnessing and testifying to our faith. I live in Wallaby Point, so I drove close to Fotheringham Park and walked in with my cross to see a small group of people spaced apart, but around the war memorial. And I remember thinking to myself, before I knew this day was going to happen with PLuto Studios, that that's really apt, that those guys are standing there in front of the war memorial with a cross. You see, Anzacs, our soldiers, our returned soldiers, lay down their lives for our freedom. They give up much to protect us. They leave their families. They agree to submit to a higher authority and be obedient. They lay down their lives to serve. And this is the story of Jesus Christ. Jesus loved us with an altruistic love, an others-focused love. And that's the parallel I see with the Anzacs. He laid down his life that we would be set free. That's metaphorical. That's metaphorical. There are many returned soldiers who believe that and sought comfort and strength through their faith during the wars. And there are many people today that gain comfort through their faith. Stripes signify a rank in the armed forces. The more stripes you have, the higher the authority you have. In 1 Peter 2:24, we're reminded that by his stripes we are healed. And that's talking about Jesus Christ, the stripes he took with the scourging, 39 lashes. He had many stripes. And I think it's a good place to finish that those of us believe recognise Christ as our authority. And on this day, this special day, we give honour to our Anzacs and thank them for their stripes and the stripes they've earned in protecting us. So God bless you. I'd just like to finish with a prayer of thanks. Thank you, God, for our beautiful country. We thank you for the courage of the Anzacs, and we thank you for the freedom we live in. Amen.
Thank you, John. 2 songs today, both Australian songs, both by the same band. Red Gum, very proud to be here, wearing my great-grandfather's World War I medals. Here we go. Pardon me if I choke up a little bit. Mum and Dad and Denny saw the passing out parade. Puckapunyal was a long march from cadets. The 6th Battalion was the next to tour, and it was me that drew the card. We did Kanunga, Shoalwater before we left. And Townsville lined the footpath as we marched down to the quay. It's clipping from the paper, shows us young and strong and clean. And there's me in my slouch hat with my SLR and greens. God help me, I was only 19. From Bangtao riding Chinooks to the dusted Nui Dat, I've been in and out of choppers now for months. But we made our tents a home, VP and pin-ups on the lockers, and an Agent Orange sunset through the scrub. And can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? The night time's just a jungle duck and a barking M16. And what's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me, I was only 19. A 4-week operation where each step could mean your last one on 2 legs. There was a war within yourself, but you wouldn't let your mates down till they had you dusted off. So you closed your eyes and thought about something else. Someone yelled out, "Contact!" and the bloke behind me swore. We hooked in there for hours, then a God Almighty roar. The Frankie kicked to mine the day the mankind kicked the moon. God help me, he was going home in June. Still see Frankie drinking tinnies in the Grand Hotel on a 36-hour rec leave in Bangtao. And I can still see Frankie lying screaming in the jungle till the morphine came and killed the bloody row. And the Anzac legend didn't mention mud and blood and tears. Stories that my father told me never seemed quite real. I caught some pieces in my back that I didn't even feel. God help me, I was only 19. And can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? And why the Channel 7 chopper chills me to my feet? And what's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me, I was only 19. next one's about a different kind of Australian hero. And hopefully anyone that's going to be missing their 2-up this year can get a little kick out of this song. Okay. Poor Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're right on the track, they're right on your back. Boy, they're gonna hang you high. 1878, it's a year I remember so well. They put my father in an early grave, they swung my mother in jail. And I don't know what's wrong or right, but they hung Christ on nails. There's 6 kids at home and 2 still on the breast, and they wouldn't even give a bill. And we sing, poor Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're right on the track, they're right on your back. Boy, they're gonna hang you high. You know I wrote a letter about Stringy Bark Creek, so they might understand. I might be a bushranger, but I'm not a murdering man. I didn't want to shoot Kennedy or that cop again. But he alone could have saved his life by throwing down his gun. And we sing, poor Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're right on the track, they're right on your back. Boy, they're gonna hang you high. No, they took Ned Kelly and hung him in a Melbourne jail. He fought so very bravely, all dressed in iron mail. And no man single-handed could hope to break the bars. There's 1,000 like Ned Kelly who would hoist a flag of stars. And we sing, poor Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're right on the track, they're right on your back. Boy, they're gonna hang you high. And we sing, poor Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're right on the track, they're right on your back. Boy, they're gonna hang you high. Woo.
Today, we as a nation and community come together to remember those fallen, those that died, those mates that are still serving, and the mates that served previously. Maybe a little bit different in today's current climate, but I'm thankful to be safe, healthy, and have the ability to share this day with you, wherever you are. Thank you, PLuto Entertainment, for providing the platform to remember the Anzacs. My name is Terry Fardouli, and I was an infantry private in the Australian Army. I served 4 years with the Royal Australian Regiment, posted to the 7th Battalion in Adelaide. In 2016, I deployed to Iraq as a part of Operation Okra. I was a guardian angel for the Australian mentoring teams in the Taji military complex. We provided security and communications for the teams that were training the Iraqi soldiers to fight and defeat ISIS. Having served overseas, the legacy of security and freedom that the Anzacs fought and died for this country is a reminder how lucky we are to live where we do. I'm honoured today to share my story and reflect on those that served and died in all wars, conflicts, and peacekeeping operations throughout our nation's history. On this day, 105 years ago, 16,000 Australian and New Zealand troops landed on a cove in Gallipoli, now known as Anzac Cove. By the end of that day, 2,000 troops would be wounded or killed in action. The stalemate of Gallipoli would last until late in December that year. The conditions those soldiers had to fight through were unimaginable. Constant artillery shelling, stench, lack of food, sleep deprivation, and constant thirst. And yet the Anzacs were unyielding. The Gallipoli campaign was a military failure, but Australia would recognise the traits that its Anzac soldiers displayed time and time again. Bravery, ingenuity, endurance, and mateship. These traits that have come to be celebrated as defining characteristics of our nation. The years that I spent in the armed forces taught me resilience, respect, and the importance of mateship. I will continue to commemorate Anzac for as long as I live. And I hope that Australia will honour the legacy left behind by the Anzacs. I'll shortly read the ode. That will be followed by Jim Bird performing the last post, which would signify the end of the daily duties. Please observe the minutes of silence afterwards. They shall grow, not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
My Uncle Gary is a Vietnam veteran, and this is a song I wrote for him. It's my version of He's Only 19, I guess, and it's called Never Understand. Way back in 1965 in a little country town, Uncle Gary got a letter hand-delivered by the Crown. When he read it to his parents, well, it broke poor Nana's heart. Their son had been conscripted, June 12th had drawn the card. He was only 19 years of age, worked for the PMG. But 6 months basic training saw him shipped off overseas. Well, he'd never been to Sydney, never travelled in a plane. And how he ended up in Vietnam still cannot explain. Gary gave the grog away, but he smokes 2 packs a day. Collects old grocery bags, it's just a habit that he has. And the only friends he'll see are on his plasma TV screen. Gary says he'll never understand how he ended up in Vietnam. He became a small town hero, began a new career. But he learned to play the pokies and he couldn't hold his beer. I guess 2 years of the Nasho turned a boy into a man. But what happened to young Gary in the jungles of Long Tan? 'Cause Gary gave the grog away, smokes 2 packs a day. Collects old grocery bags, it's just a habit that he has. And he lives there all alone, his little mobile home. Gary says he'll never understand how he ended up in Vietnam. And the horrors that he witnessed, Gary never will forget. But the doctors down in Burwood treat their veterans with respect. And conscription's just a memory seldom talked about today. But spare a thought for Gary and the sacrifice he made. 'Cause Gary gave the grog away, but he smokes 2 packs a day. Collects old grocery bags, it's just this habit that he has. And the only friends he'll see are on that plasma TV screen. Gary says he'll never understand how he ended up in Vietnam. Gary swears he'll never understand. This next song is one I wrote for the 100th anniversary of the Gallipoli landing. It's just called Gallipoli. Brave men, young and old, volunteer to enrol at barrack camps right round the nation. There was work to be done to defeat the wild Hun and save England from an invasion. Politicians declared that Australia would stand to the very last shilling, the very last man, and our boys would be back to enjoy Christmas hams. So they believed. Soon battalions were formed, these brave men went to war on trip ships filled to overflowing. And these Anzacs so keen to fight overseas, well, they just had no way of knowing. In a long narrow strait called the Great Dardanelles, there's a small rocky cove with steep cliff tops as well. It'll soon be a bloodbath, a sheer living hell, called Gallipoli. The Turks lay in way on that terrible day. Machine guns and bombs blew our diggers away, like lambs to the slaughter way overseas at Gallipoli. Well, 600 men died first day they arrived. 2,000 more fell in the fighting, while the ones still alive dug the earth to provide deep trenches of earth for surviving. And for 9 bitter months those long battles raged on. They died in their trenches from bullets and bombs. And when it was over, 8,000 were gone at Gallipoli. The Turks lay in wait on that terrible day. Machine guns and bombs blew our diggers away like lambs to the slaughter way overseas at Gallipoli. Still, as everyone knows, the raw courage they showed, even won Johnny Turk's admiration. Tales of blood, sweat and tears are passed down through the years to inspire entire generations. They'll never grow old or their deeds fade away. We'll remember those diggers so young and so brave, 'cause the spirit of Anzac's still with us today at Gallipoli. The Turks lay in wait on that terrible day. Machine guns and bombs blew our diggers away like lambs to the slaughter way overseas at Gallipoli. The Turks lay in wait on that terrible day. Machine guns and bombs blew our diggers away like lambs to a slaughter way overseas at Gallipoli, at Gallipoli, at Gallipoli. That's Gallipoli. Final song, it's loosely based on my Uncle Keith actually, but this is an experience I think a lot of sort of baby boomers can kind of relate to. And the changing attitudes of Anzac, of our commemoration of Anzac Day over the years. And just the way it's changed and changes again. Here we go. It's called Talked About the War. Dad was born in 1924. Served the 8th Battalion at the fall of Singapore. His parents feared their son had died, but he came home in 45, skin and bone but still alive, weighing 6 stone 4. Grew up in the Depression, milked cows when he was 5. He walked to school barefooted, trapped rabbits to survive. And returning home a hero, well, he wasn't quite the same, but he kept the dairy running, rarely would complain. But when asked about the awful things he saw, my father never talked about the war. Well, I was born in 1953. My father used to worry if he'd make a man of me. I rode to high school in a bus. My mum would always pack my lunch. I'd feed the cows but make a fuss, rather watch TV. Grew hair down past my shoulders, smoked dope, I hated rules. I idolised Bob Dylan, chased girls round like a fool. Bought myself a surfboard and a big red panel van, prepared to leave the milking in the hands of my old man. And Anzac Day was something you'd ignore. It wasn't cool to talk about the war. Well, the old man passed away in 89. Not bad for an ex-soldier who had chain smoked all his life. Mum said he'd lost the will to fight. Milk quotas caused him sleepless nights, and supermarket margins tight had caused his sad decline. But the night before Dad left us, he sat straight up in bed and pointed to this suitcase. "Could you bring it here?" he said. He unlocked this rusty relic that I'd never seen before. There were medals and a slouch hat and the uniform he'd worn. And I'll swear to you, I almost hit the floor when my father talked to me about the war.
Thank you everybody that's participated this morning in this special Anzac service, a different Anzac service, but respectful of the Anzac traditions that we've all grown up with. Thank you very, very much to PLuto Entertainment for providing us the opportunity to share this Anzac Day with you, and thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you.